Early one morning in May, a powerful four-engine Soviet bomber came in to land at a northern aerodrome. Few people knew of its arrival. Out of it stepped the Soviet People's Commissar for Foreign Affairs, Mr Molotov, clad in heavy fur-lined flying kit. He had just flown from Russia, and close secrecy surrounded his arrival. Nearby, a guard of honor presented arms in salute to the important diplomat. It was the start of what was to prove an epoch-making visit. The crew of the aircraft, which included a famous Soviet airman, was soon at home with their comrades in the RAF. At the local station, a special train was waiting to bring Monsieur Molotov to London. As it drew out, he and the high officials who traveled with him settled down to an English breakfast and to enjoy the scenery. Monsieur Molotov's presence here was one of the best-kept secrets of the war. At a station outside London, Mr. Eden was there to welcome his Russian collaborator, and with Monsieur Maisky, who had joined the train earlier, left to confer with Mr. Churchill. Number 10 Downing Street. Long before the story was to be made public, these pictures were taken to present the historic events leading to the great Anglo-Soviet Treaty. The conclusion of a 20-year treaty of alliance with full partnership in war and peace.
We shall work together for victory over our common enemy.
That victory is brought nearer by this wise and far-seeing instrument of mutual assistance. At the Foreign Office, the Grand Alliance was entered into as signatures were appended to the document by the representatives of the high contracting parties. Full understanding was also reached with regard to the creating this year of a second front in Europe. Listen now to Mr. Eden.
One day the war will end. One day the common enemy will be defeated and there will be peace again. We must see to it that this time peace endures. In the treaty which we have signed, we pledge ourselves to work together for this purpose. Never before in the history of our two countries has our association been so close or our mutual pledge for the future so complete. This is surely a happy augury. There is nothing exclusive in our agreement. We are seeking peace and security not only for our two countries, but for all the United Nations. Understanding between us is one of the foundations of peace, not for us alone, but for the world. We have signed our treaty, and part of the work is behind us.
In his reply, Monsieur Molotov, speaking in Russian, affirmed his country's determination to rid Europe of Nazi tyranny. Hitler and his accomplices in their blood-stained robbery, he said, will now feel more than ever that the united forces of their adversaries have been rallied and strengthened. Once again, the great plane set forth, this time carrying Monsieur Molotov to the United States, whose willing participation in the Great Alliance completed the invincible trilogy of nations. The new treaty has had an electrifying effect all over the world. It is the power switch that will set in motion the machinery to grind the last vestige of tyranny out of Europe.